What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Phil Shocker, the 96 Hedgehog here with our Week 2 G8DL Team Builder going against Revan in this week. If you guys are excited, leave a like if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new. Join the Phil Shocker crew today because you feel with the king of the crew. So let's go ahead and break down this matchup. Like I said in the VBL Team Builder, whether this gets uploaded before the VBL or not, we face Revan both VBL for Week 5 and for Week 2 here in G8DL, and both of his teams are busted and definitely took advantage of the point system draft that we have here. Because as you can tell, his Gmax, well, we'll get into that, but let's go ahead and break down Revan's team. He's got Zera Aura, Tapu Fini, Volcarona, Blissey, Skarmory, Garchomp, Weavile, Gengar, Mesprit, Terrakion, Eldegoss, and Gmax Eevee. Now, I believe Gmax Eevee and Gmax Meowth were the main two that you can get 60 points to add to your total 120 points. So, yeah, he basically walked away with a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 20-point Mons. Then walked away with 1, 2, I believe 2 or 3 15 points. Then one 10 point, one 5 point, and the rest going into his Gmax Eevee to give him points. So he basically walked away with half his team being basically over the budget, being the exact budget. But since he got the 60 points, he budgeted out the last 5 picks because you were guaranteed to get a Gmax on your team. It just depended on point value. So, but yeah, Revan's team. I hate prepping this team. It's just impossible to build for a Revan's team. I mean, you can kind of build for what you have, but I'm just not looking forward to this. This is just going to be a terrible game. I'm going to lose. But how bad I lose, that's going to be up to me. But breaking on his team, I definitely don't think he's ever going to really be bringing his Gmax at all. Just because it has to be forced to hold a Pokeball, so I highly doubt he really wants to be bringing Gmax Eevee versus me. So essentially, he kind of does. Oh, excuse me. He kind of does pretty much go into these games with just 11 Pokemon. But he just needs the 11 Pokemon, really. So I don't think Eldegoss comes. I think I have way too many good things on to handle, and Eldegoss doesn't really do much. Terrakion's decently good versus me, but I think I have a lot of ways to kind of deal with it, so I kind of don't expect him to really want to bring it. Mesprit is something that could potentially be a little annoying to be brought, but I don't know if he really wants to bring it, especially with the team I have, so I don't really expect so much to come there. Gengar is definitely something that can come most likely probably as a choice, most likely probably a choice specs abuser or be his guaranteed choice scarf for speed control and type of that situation. But overall, I think Gengar is very, very annoying. Weavile is definitely something I can see be subbed in because Weavile is just so god dang annoying offensively versus my team. We don't really struggle. We struggle to switch into Banded Weavile. We have nothing that can switch into Banded Knockoff except maybe one Mon, but then that Mon loses its item and then can't kind of function that good the rest of the game. So there's that. Overall, I don't know how well we're gonna do with dealing with his Pokemon. Excuse me. So it's just gonna come down to exactly what we can do to kind of mitigate and deal with that. But for the 6, I think 100% he's bringing Zero Aura. Zero Aura is a mixed attacker. Looks really, really strong versus me. I think Tapu Fini is very important, especially since my team relies on really bringing more of the kind of status with things like Toxic, T-Wave, and stuff like that. So I definitely think he wants to take advantage of that. I think Volcarona definitely wants to come because Volcarona is very scary offensively versus me. If I think it's one Quiver, I think it's pretty much GG at that point. Blissey is really, really annoying as I do not have a fighting type on my team. So I definitely think I do have my fighting type, but my team, my fighting type is special versus physical. So it's definitely going to be a mon that can just soak up special hits, especially if it's a Calm Mind Blissey. Skarmory definitely comes. Skarmory is going to be his main way to remove hazards this matchup. Even though he probably most likely will have a heavy duty boots while Corona, but still having access to remove webs and spikes is very, very important. And then I think Garchomp comes. Garchomp's probably most likely going to be his Scarfer in this matchup, just because it outspeeds up base without boosted speed on certain mons. The reason why I say Garchomp's more likely to Scarfer is because it can handle things like Cinderace, it can handle things like Scarf, Xerkatry, Scarf, um, less base 100s. It's also a decently good mon to kind of outspeed Torn and go for the Dragon or Outrage. And so one of those mon again that can take a hit and just, even though we've Scarfed and not be faster. And I don't know if he wants to bring Scale Shot versus my team. I don't think my team lets him really set up Scale Shot for free, especially when I have like certain mons that can just kind of just annoy it. So let's go ahead and break down the team we have here, guys. I went all out with this team, thinking everything I can do to do it. So we're bringing our new mons in this week, and we're bringing some old ones from last week as well. First off, we're bringing back Sonnegar, G-Max, Cinderace. I think this mon's pretty much coming in almost pretty much every single week based on matchup. We are bringing Adamant Cinderace this week with Gunk Shot, High Jump Kick, Powerball, and Acrobatics. 16 HP, max attack Adamant, and pretty much max speed with 240. This speed lets me basically be faster than Garchomp, so once I get an Acrobatic speed boost, I am faster than Garchomp guaranteed, and I'm basically faster than everything that's seen unless, for some weird reason, that Zero Aura is Choice Scarred. If Gengar comes and we go for the speed boost, we're not faster than Scarf Gengar, but again, I think most likely would probably be Specs Gengar if I had to take a guess. We are running Gunk Shot for the Tapu Fini. We are running High Jump Kick because it gives us an attack boost and hits a good majority of his team as well. We are running Powerball because you already know that's the best move to click in the entire game. And we are running Acrobatics as a better way to hit things like, say, the Volcarona, get the speed boost as well from there. It also hits the Terrakion really good as well. Even though, yes, we do have a Cherish Ball, but overall, it's definitely a good, powerful attack to have on our Mon, so be able to do a good amount of damage from there. Up next, we're bringing Ferrothorn here with Power Whip, Leech Seed, Body Press, and yes, you see it right, Rollout. We are running max HP, 12 in attack, 136 defense, 108 split depth with the Impish Nature, running that Oka Berry. Basically, I'm willing to risk myself locking into Rollout because if you really think about his switch-ins today, there's really not that much they can switch into me unless he brings things like Terrakion and then bring that thing in on me. But again, he doesn't really want to catch a Gyro Ball or a Power Whip to the face in that type of situation. Now, why on God's green earth am I running Rollout, you may ask? Well, Rollout, I believe, is not an actual contact move, so it can't actually hit the Volcarona. And for some dumb reason, this thing doesn't learn a physical rock move besides Rollout. And excuse me for the hiccup there. But basically, with a Rollout, depending on his investment, if he is a bulky variant, like max HP with the speed, but if he's speed plus just special attack, after one Rollout, I knock him out again. And he's going to be like, oh, I just knock him out, and then he can try to roost, that's fine. I can keep building my rollouts and my rollouts. And ultimately, this rollouting could actually hit so much of his team. The only problem would be Garchomp. And if Garchomp's not there, rollout is spammable to bring against him. Now, I do need to be very, very careful on not locking into rollout extremely right away until I know that Garchomp is incredibly weak to the point I can keep clicking rollout. Because again, if Garchomp is clicking rollout, Rough Skin's going to come into play, and it's going to be very, very annoying. Especially if he tries to bring a defensive variation with Rocky Helmet Rough Skin. But overall, I think Ferrothorn, Power Whip spam is really, really free. Leech Seed's also really good in this matchup, and Body Press is good to be able to 1v1 the Skarmory in a type of way where he roosts, and then 1v1s the Blissey, which can basically ignore that thing. Up next, we're bringing the debut of Jet Arladios this week with the Roselli Berry, Dragonette, Zen Headbutt, Roost, Mystical Fire with the Jolly Nature, 80 in attack, 80 in HP, max attack, and 176 in speed. Even with the Jolly Nature, Mystical Fire guaranteed to a sense does 2 KO, physically defensive Skarmory, and it also guaranteed 2 KOs a incoming switch into the Weavile. Now, what Weavile has to be very careful about is that it can't just freely switch in on me for the most part. He has to most likely make his switch in be probably the Skarmory. And then what I'm going to do is hopefully get chipped down on Skarmory to where Mystical Fire 2 KOs, or I go for Mystical Fire, get the 2 KO, click Mystical Fire again, and then make him think, okay, he can go ahead and this. And then if he's weakened to the point, Mystical Fire comes in, picks up another KO, and we go from there. Other than that, if we don't debate that, we die and we lose. We can live at least one Ice Shard if it's Banded Weavile. If it's not Banded Weavile, we guarantee always live a hit. If it's not banded, Icicle Crash, I'm pretty sure does not KO. Well, if it's Life Orb, it does. Ugh, excuse me. And it just would have been really annoying, but I think Jet could honestly put in a lot of work. We are running our main Psychic Stab over Dragon. Now, I would have loved to have Dragon on here to hit Weavile, and then Mysticar just being there just primarily for um Skarmory, but looking at Dragon with Misty Terrain up, Dragon moves get weakened, so I don't want to take that risk. And plus, I only really need Zen Headbutt for the most part, because Zen Headbutt hits everything for super effective to neutral damage. Dragon Claw would have been really good for things like Mesprit, but I overall think we can handle this set. Plus, the chance to flinch is always really good. Up next, we're reading Trojan or Mudsdale, specially defensive more or less this week. Earthquake, Body Press, Body Slam, and Toxic, 176 HP, 56 in attack, 100 in the defense, and 176 split dev. Like I said, it's kind of a little mixed defensive. It's primarily our special defensive wall this week. Earthquake is pretty much free against majority of his team. Body Press is really good to start stacking up with hits with stamina. And then Body Slam is there just kind of for paralyzed shenanigans. Toxic is there to try to get some chipping and stuff like that on most mons and hopefully fish for some paras. And then Toxic, like I said before as well, Toxic is there just to kind of hopefully weaken things down and just go from there. Up next, we're bringing Pepe Le Pew, our Stunk Tank, and I actually did not focus on the nature, on the ability. I think we'll rock with. I think we'll rock with Aftermath. Running 100 HP, 120, 112 in attack, 156 special, 156 in defense, 140 special attack with Fire Blast, Poison Jab, Night Slash. Player off, we are running physical Skunk Tank this week as we are a little more physical variant. This is better. Player up hits the Garchomp on a switch in, be able to do a nice, good, clean, roughly 30 to 40%, maybe 50%, depending on if he's really bulky. If he's not bulky at all, we should do at least a maximum of 40 something percent, which would be really, really good. We are running Fire Blast with that Skarmory, even with the 140 with the minus special attack with the Impish Nature. With the 140, we guarantee essentially 2 KO physically defensive Skarmory. If we get a low roll, it's not 2 KO. We get basically like a 55 or 60, we guarantee do 2 KO it, unless he's got Protect. But on that, Poison Jab and Night Slash pretty much do a good amount of numbers to a majority of his team as well, which is also really good to chip things down and get potential poisons and crits, which is also really, really good. And also making his debut this week is Livewire, the Zergatry here, with Dazzling Gleam, Thunderbolt, Toxic, Hypnosis, pretty much max HP, 4 defense, 20 in special, 20 in speed, max special attack with a modest nature. We are running this weird set because this actually can do some work for us. So basically, we have Toxic there, 2 toxic things like his ground types, and that's the same thing with Hypnosis. Hypnosis, I want to mostly use on either things like Blissey, even though yes, I know it has natural cure, or things like Garchomp, the Zero Aura, and stuff like that. Toxic's also really, really good because he may think, okay, he may only have Hypnosis and like 2 or 3 coverage moves. Let me go into something else, but boom, I have Toxic there, which can start racking up a lot of toxic damage on a good majority of his mons, which can be really, really good. I may go over the Hypnosis first before Toxicking, depending on what the set is. But with having Zergatry, Zergatry can actually do enough things. And I think another one of the main switches you may have to this monster would also be Zero Aura, but that's where hopefully the Hypnosis comes in, or the Toxic coming in as well. But if he's Special Zero I'm a little less stressed about, more physical stuff. So that's where kind of a more of a specially bulky mix from special offensive and special bulk with the HP investment. But that's the team, guys. Honestly, I do not expect myself to win. I just got another hard matchup, and I have how many more hard matchups to do. But overall, I think this was the best team we could possibly build. I wanted to put Lapras and Kangaskhan on this team, but I didn't think they were going to do as much as I would want, depending on what Revan, because Revan can just bring any type of thing, and I just can't prep for every single mon in the entirety of the game. But that's going to be it for us guys. Leave a like if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new. Join the Field Shocker crew today. But until next time, guys, I'm Field Shocker, the United States Hedgehog. I will see you guys later. Peace.